Let's go. Good evening. Back here for another one. And it's going down for sure. Got plenty of stuff to cover here tonight. Much love. Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody out there. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream, gets it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. Some of you guys out there sharing it multiple times. I appreciate it to the fullest. You're looking at an image there sent in from, well, it was one from D. White. Much love, my brother. Beautiful skies there. Much love, Steely. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, everybody, for the feedback there. Thank you, Steve, as well, for the super chat. Hoodie Ross, David, everybody in the house. Good to see everybody. Pennsylvania checking in. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe. Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. If you need to get anything to me throughout the stream, you can get my attention in the chat by @ing me, just as Academy did right there. And I really don't get my eyes on the chat till like the last minute, like right as I'm coming on here, because I'm doing so many other things. I barely caught Steely's super chat there, but much love, State, Arizona, everybody checking in from all across the board. Deanne, E. Fitz, much love, my mods, Ava. I hope all is well. Daily, Thank you for everything. Jay from the Ville. Spiro. All right. Get this thing rolling. Hope, Faith, thank you as well. Much love. The Wizard with us. Start off here with an update on what's going on here with this hurricane. Where I have been here in the Midwest, it's been pretty much like a drought. Like all summer, super dry, still coming into this time. Like they'll call for rain. 60, 70, 80, 90% chances, and like hardly anything hits the ground. And if it does, it's not much. But it's raining right now. So I'll take what we can get. So if there's any noise in the background, it would be the rain hitting the roof. In this Mellisa, set to become Jamaica's first ever Cat 5, which is hard to believe, Jamaica being right out there in the area, but that goes all the way back to 1850. All right, so right now, this thing's churning about 130 miles southwest of Kingston, Jamaica. And this thing is up there, 157 mile an hour winds. And you can see here on the scale, on their imaging, they're showing that Tuesday, Wednesday, this thing's really going to start to hammer those areas. Already at a Cat 5. Yeah, this is never recorded. It says right here, records dating back to 1850 show Jamaica has never recorded a direct landfall from a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. However, 4 Category 3 storms have made direct landfall. 1903, 1912, 1951, and 1988. So Jamaica, you're going to get clipped. Any of my cats out there, granted, welcome to the underground. Just a heads up. I don't want to see no one get caught up in this. Mindy's saying it's 175 mile an hour wind. This is going to cause some problems. No doubt. Anytime you got something this massive coming in, it's going to cause some issues. Now, I will say this. We saw some odd stuff pop off today. Let me go over here, jump over to the Twitter page real quick. And yes, this is my X page. This is mine. I just don't have I don't have the check mark over there. Decided to stop paying for it. I'm in the dungeon over there anyway. It didn't seem to do me any bit of good, any bit of a difference. But yeah, that's me. I will say that without it, more people ask questions if that's really my stuff. But hey, get sick of the crap. Get sick of having to go through what we go through out here, the censorship. So check this out. I dropped this earlier today. We had what I consider to be a shallow 6.5 magnitude earthquake. Others are going to say, well, that's not that shallow. Well, when you track earthquakes, earthquakes for going on decades, and I've seen them hundreds of kilometers deep, 10, 5, 10 is pretty shallow in my book. TNF doesn't mean they're at the surface, which is what some people are thinking when they're thinking shallow. No, if it was at the surface, I'd say surface level. TNF, thank you. Much love, my brother. In X-Jail with me. Hey, salutes, my brother. Doing hard time together, bro. Life of an outlaw. A real truther, that is. You're an outlaw when you're out here fighting the good fight against an evil empire. They don't like you, so you are the enemy to them. So check this out. You can see on the screen here, I've got an image that covers where the earthquake and a swarm broke loose earlier today. It just so happens this is the exact region where we have a ton of different military assets. And you can see here on the image, this is where they have the submarine stationed per the image. Doesn't mean that's right where it's sitting. It could be anywhere out here lurking. But this is right where this is right where all their assets are. And I've showed you other images throughout the weeks that have shown them all right around this exact same area. Positioning. Moving around back and forth, but all in all positioning. And then they're stationed heavily in Puerto Rico, as you can see right here. So they're coming off Puerto Rico and they're coming on both sides of the islands, making their way down. Now, huge earthquake hits right where they're stationed. Coincidence? I don't know. I don't believe in coincidences. There is a massive hurricane pushing through right down around this region right here toward Port-au-Prince. That is a lot of pressure that could affect this area. It could. Again, right exactly where they are positioned, like a key spot. This raises some eyebrows. Also got a few 4.8s. These are the type of magnitude earthquakes we're used to seeing. 4.8 to 5, maybe at the highest. You can see the swarming up here. That's around normal. When you get 6.5 greater, upwards to the 7 on some of these earthquake maps, that's a big quake. And we're lucky it didn't generate a tsunami, because back when Haiti had its big earthquake, it generated a massive tsunami. So it's all about exactly where it hits and the plate tectonics and whether it's a strike, slip, fault, or all these different things. And if mankind is messing around, if it was some kind of military drill, they're bombing boats down there left and right. I don't know. If it was the military, I'd say we're never going to get an answer. Keep an eye on that region, though. With the hurricane and all that pressure moving through there, we could see more activity anywhere. And if we do, it'd kind of lean toward that's what we were witnessing. Nonetheless, that's what's going on with the hurricane. It looks like it's going to miss the U.S. It's been pretty quiet. They called for a very active hurricane season. I'm not going to complain here, but it's been pretty quiet. After some of the bad hits we've taken past few years, I'll take a quiet one. On some lighter notes, I wanted to share here out of California. The zoo officials baffled as a wild bear broke in to the zoo to hang out with the resident bears. You just don't see this every day. So what happened? You can see here in this image. You just went to hang out, man. It's like it's crazy. Trying to break into jail. It's like somebody trying to break into the jail to hang out with the buddies. They got you all locked up in there. I'll come hang out. Nah. I just thought it was kind of funny. Been seeing a lot more bear stories. And caught one on my cam up here. Big old boy. Call him Scar. Got a big old scar on his left side. He's biggin'. Here's one for you. There's mystery out of the Ukraine-Russia area. Chernobyl. People are saying that they're spotting dogs that are blue. Not just one, but many different dogs that are blue. It's only happening around this area. So a lot of people are attributing all this to the Chernobyl radiation effects and all that stuff. didn't look like the healthiest dog there, but yeah. Blue dogs running around Chernobyl. Marsha, good to see you, and thank you for the coffees. I appreciate it. You say, I'm questioning if the videos on X regarding EBT and threats of stealing from stores and Americans on way to their cars, if this is a psyop to get us riled up. Need to have discernment. God bless you and thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. I'll be getting into more of that here in a minute. But if you ever see any blue dogs, man, you might want to check the area you're in. Just saying. And the Louvre heist suspects out of France that stole the French crown jewels. 2 of them have been arrested. 2 suspects in custody. This heist saw 100 million worth of historic French crown jewels disappear. And even though they caught the guys, the jewels are still missing. This was super daring. The way they pulled it off and everything, they must not have crossed all their T's and dotted their I's here in terms of this, but you can see on display there some of the jewels. Just, I question where were they gonna sell these anyway? I mean, one of the things that makes them like priceless, as they say, is the fact that they're the crown jewels, and it's going to be on record they're missing. So just, it makes me wonder, how do they, I mean, I know there's a black market, and yeah, someone can always dismantle it and sell it gem by gem, piece by piece. Not going to get nowhere near value, but I mean, hey, that's what crooks do. And I just don't see how they're going to ever sell this. You know, maybe if you got a buyer lined up, maybe that's why they did it to begin with, but they've got them somewhere. They either got them sold already or they're buried or hidden real good. So these guys can go to jail for a while. They're probably going to sit in there every day hoping and praying that no one found them. That way, at least if they get out, they're going to be like, you're going to get them. It'd be the first place they go to. And you have to watch their tail, because it's pretty obvious. If I'm the law, you let them out, you know they're going to be going straight to the spot. Watch them. Track them. Watch them and track their every move, and they're going to go right to the spot, and then boom. You recover them. Yeah. Some people just ain't that smart. Like this guy. This piece of work. An Arizona youth leader arrested for child sex trafficking and abuse material. This piece of work right here. He's off the streets. That's the good thing here. Casey Goslin, 46-year-old Phoenix man, running this network, abusing children. And to me, where there's one, there's more like this. You're not, I mean, it's not like he was kidnapping kids and holding them all in the basement. It's like, when it comes to trafficking, all right, trafficking, that means there's more people involved here. You see what I'm saying? He was just like the whole Epstein thing. It's a big old head buster where Trash Patel wants to come out and say he agrees with Trump, this is a hoax, and they have no evidence that no one was ever escorted to anyone outside of just young girls brought in for Epstein's own pleasure. But no one else ever did anything. Psh, lying piece of trash. Right there. Protecting pedos. Okay? Well, I don't know. Why is Ghislaine sitting in jail then? They're trash. Huh? Why? Huh? Because your statement conflicts with the whole thing. Why do you even got her in a jail cell? Because she was trafficking young girls. Okay? To who? You still have not told anyone who these guys are. It's all still a big mystery, and it's fraudulent. And if you can't tell that this administration is helping to keep it covered up, then you're just in denial. You're a liar. When it comes to kidnapping children and sexually abusing them, if you ain't willing to stand up for them there, just get out of here. I don't want you anywhere around me. That's the first litmus test right there. Yeah, Bear's life matter too. Much love, comrade. This just burns me up. My point is, this guy is not alone. And if you're the investigators, you're the police, you got to know this. Because trafficking involves more than one person. There's usually a network, and it runs deep. But as we often see, it's usually covered up. That's why when we have these situations, we swing hard in exposing it. This piece of trash. Ohio woman fatally stabbed a 3-year-old boy inside a grocery store parking lot. She gets sentenced to life without parole. It just burns me up. I don't see color. I don't see none of that. Never have. Where I grew up, how I come up, like my people that I grew up with and all that, they're all different colors, shapes, sizes, all different backgrounds. And this is the way it is. So there wasn't like no like a racism type thing. Yeah, there's racist guys around, a couple group of some skinheads over here, even of some other group or whatever, but not with like our group. We ran of all colors and backgrounds, and we were a large group because of that. And I don't know. I just never understood the racism aspect, just because of how we came up, just unified, which was good. It was always a good thing. But I know there's racism from all sides, and some people, I know there's evil. It's beyond racism. It's just evil in anyone out there. Can be, but this woman just decides to just for no reason stab and kill this 3-year-old boy. They're not going to show an image here of him, but out of nowhere, blessings back at you, Lady B. Thank you for the coffees. I appreciate it to the fullest. So may this woman get her karma. We have a Minnesota man arrested for posting a murder for hire TikTok video offering $45,000 for Pam Bondi's assassination. Yeah. That's when I see these things, any of these threats posted online, you're just begging for trouble. It's just not smart. It's like, come on, use your brain. Like, you see them get busted all the time. People making these threats, no matter who it's against. It's easy. Cops can look up the IP, the address, wherever the ping is coming from the cell phone, whatever. They're going to be on it. Anyhow, this is a positive one right here. This is out of New Jersey. We've got a victory for a family that's been battling the state, basically the government, trying to come in and take their 175-year-old family farm. And they were trying to do so, like they always do, by eminent domain. Yeah. Eminent domain. We've seen this before many times, many different places, situations across the country. Some have not been so lucky, unfortunately. But here, they're saying that this family that's been fighting this, Chris Henry and his family, argued in front of the court that they should be able to keep their 21-acre family farm, and they won. So it's not all the time that you see this. They were trying to mandate that they cough it up because they were going to put apartments in here, all this other crap. And they're like, no. But here, I'll play a piece from the guy.
don't want to eat the meat in the stores because of the chemicals.
The farm is surrounded by warehouses or land that's about to become warehouses. O'Donnell hopes Cranberry finds other places to put 265 affordable housing units and fulfill its constitutionally mandated obligation.
I hope they use their minds and their hearts that this is a good thing in this community. A lot of people like to look at these animals. Sometimes they're parking along the side of the road. They come up in a driveway. They just want to sit here and look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's a farm. When there's not one around, people grow up in a city life. They are amazed. They see animals. They stop. They look. It's a cool thing, you know, to see animals that you don't normally see every day. I don't know. I don't like seeing no one getting ran out. And thank you, Brenda, for the super chat. To the fullest. What is this? They're trying to take out Jamaica right now. They stopped all flights so people can't leave. Really? They stopped the flights. You got any links on that? Please let me know, and you can send them to dabu7@yahoo.com if you do. But thank you for the information. Well, I can understand that flights get grounded at a certain time when a hurricane's coming through. Like, you have a window of opportunity, but like, you definitely, with hurricane winds bearing down, you're not going to want flights trying to land or take off. You're going to want them to reroute. It's going to cause a headache, but I wouldn't want to be on no flight trying to take off or land in a hurricane. Get out of here. It's one of the things you're going to have to deal with. And be ready. Yeah, I covered the earthquake already here at the beginning. Going to keep on pushing, though. Amazon plans to axe 30,000 jobs. The cuts begin Tuesday. So more decimation, more of the country getting torn apart, more jobs. And that's not just a couple of thousand. That's 30,000 jobs at corporate level. Okay, so I'm telling you, at the rate jobs are getting wiped out, we're going to be in a depression. We're going to be in a depression. Handful of the right events, as we've talked about. 30% of Americans say they cannot afford to take a vacation or a holiday, as you call it. Yeah. That's just where things sit. People can't afford to do nothing. Here's a positive, and this is a change. I'm trying to throw what positives I can out there as well when I find them here. But the IRS is reinstating the $20,000 threshold for 1099ers. This is big. It's big for anyone with gig work. Anyone out there that had the smaller transactions. They were saying before, anything over $600 you had to claim on taxes. And of course, that was all installed throughout the whole Biden regime. They're doing away with it. Okay, so this is what it says. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, on October 23rd, issued a fact sheet confirming that a higher reporting threshold for Form 1099-K has been restored under the One Big Beautiful Act, reversing changes made during Biden's administration. Form 1099-K applies to individuals who earn money through gig work or that sell goods online, anything like that. Ton of people get 1099s. Third-party settlement organizations, including platforms like Amazon, eBay, PayPal, and Venmo, must send copies of the form to both the IRS and taxpayers, detailing the payments. And like, if you were to send somebody something on PayPal, you would see you have a friends and family option, and that's good. You always want to check that because that's non-taxable. If that's not checked and you're sending somebody some money, they're going to assume that it was like for some purchase of something, and it could be taxable. You see, so you always want to go friends and family whenever you do PayPal or anything like that, as it's saying right there. Venmo, anything like that. But as it says here, before 2021, TPSOs were required to issue a 1099 only if the seller received more than $20,000 and conducted at least 200 transactions during the year. The 2021 American Rescue Plan Act lowered that threshold to $600, triggering widespread criticism and a ton of chaos and issues. And of course, they were milking people. So the IRS initially attempted to phase this out, but they're saying, nah, right now, it goes into effect. Gross payments back to 20, transactions 200. So it's a huge thing right there for a lot of people. So that is a plus for some folks out there. Instead of getting hit, somebody, sends you $800 for something, maybe help out, but still, it doesn't matter. They were going to hit you with taxes, which is ridiculous. Anyhow, that's a plus. Moving on to the next one, I want to point out where America is forecasted to grow the most over the next 25 years. So it's 2050. If you're wondering what's going to grow, what's not, you can take a look here at the map. And I'd say the state taking the biggest hit, unfortunately, is West Virginia. And that's a big, big state that depends, and it always depended on coal. And they took a big hit when they shut down coal. And I'm going to play some stuff on that here in a second. But you can see at minus 15%, they take a hit more than anyone here in terms of the forecasted growth. So you can just take a look and see where your state falls there on the map. And Americans worrying about what? Rising prices, inflation, and the cost of living. It is the number one issue. Number one, what Americans worry about. Rising prices, followed by crime, and then the economic situation, and then health and social security, and then poverty, then housing, education, immigration, unemployment, climate change. Can't believe it made the list, but rising prices and inflation, without a doubt, affecting everybody. Big time out there. And thank you for that information, Jocelyn. And John, thank you for the coffee. I appreciate it. Much love right back at you. Steve Bannon, and an energy consultant. They talk about these electricity shortages that are going down in states. Now, if you're paying high bills, it could very well be tied into this. But they're talking about how Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, they're all in this bad position because they shut down coal plants. Now, they did not mention Kentucky. They would have, but Kentucky said to hell with this. They said, we're not playing this game when Biden was in there. They refused to shut down the coal plants, and they kept them going. Not every single one of them, but some of them. And it kept the lights on. It kept the heat going. It saved lives. And since then, the Trump administration goes the other way against all this climate stuff. So they're blaming all this on the Dems, so to speak, which it was largely pushed by them big time. But you don't want to be in this basket here.
Dave Walsh, we talked about people turning out to vote today, the importance of people turning out to vote today, particularly in New Jersey. There's been a bunch of articles. The pressure, particularly coming from AI, is going to these electric bills. I mean, give me a couple of minutes on this, because this is going to be such an important topic. It is in the New Jersey race right now, but I got to tell you, in the midterms, this whole affordability thing, the whole issue of energy, how we get industrial energy and how we get energy to consumers at a reasonable price. and to pay for the sins of people that have screwed this up in the past. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, Steve, the electricity shortages in Maryland and New Jersey, specifically Northern Virginia, now Pennsylvania, were caused by the tear down and shutdown of coal plants, the cessation of building nuclear plants, the shuttering of nuclear plants, and the attempt to replace them with wind and solar power and battery storage has not worked, has created a huge shortage. That's been step one of electricity costs going through the roof. And FERC needs to address that. Now, here this week, Thursday, Chris Wright came out with a decree or a statement to FERC, charging FERC to go ahead and come up with rulemakings by mid-April 26, April 30th, 26, to allow access to large users to the grid for fair, timely, orderly, and non-discriminatory access to the grid. Meaning, of course, data centers and large industrials who are reshoring, which is great. But we've got some things to think about in this thing, which complicates things. Industrials already benefit from massive discounting across the country. Ratepayers who are residential pay about 17 cents a kilowatt hour. Industrials pay 9.5% across the U.S. So they already enjoy massive discounts, and they enjoy, to the extent they're able to build their own power plants, AI data centers, makers, tax benefits to write them all off in year one, basically. So they have some key advantages over residential ratepayers to begin with. What we hope this turns into, that FERC pushes very hard on its regions and NERC and the state utilities and the public service commissions to let AI and data center clients build their own capacity, take advantage of the maker's depreciation, remove restrictions that cause local builders of power plants to not be able to sell power into regulated grids, but for the utility being the buyer of it, remove those restrictions, remove restrictions that cause the interconnect to be massively costly in a lot of states that are regulated, and really prohibit independent power production in that way. Chris Wright did mention the Enron case from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, promoting the good cause for independent power plant investment to occur in this country, which has been in some states blocked by high tariffs for integrating independent power capacity that does compete with utilities, to dismantle that, to hopefully allow the AI and data center builders of power plants to take advantage of a deregulated situation where they can build them on an unrestricted basis, not face high tariffs for integrating into the grid.
Okay. I'm not going to play the whole piece there, but you may recall that I touched on deregulation here recently. And I tried to explain it the best I could. It's pretty simple, though. Energy and electric has always been a monopoly, ran by the few. Okay? Now, every state's different here. Some states have deregulated. Others have not, and that's what he was just talking about. These ones that have not, they need to deregulate. And what this does is it means that one big juggernaut can't control the price of everything. What it does is it allows new companies, new people, entities to come in and buy chunks, big blocks of energy, just like the monopoly does. It allows new people to come in and buy these big blocks, these chunks, and then go out and sell that to the public, whether it's business or residential. And when you have 10, 20 new people show up, buying blocks of energy, going out to sell it, they then compete for business. And how they're going to do is they're going to try, obviously, to go out there and bring the lowest price. And with a lot of these people, if someone comes knocking at your door, if you're in a state that it can deregulate, and they're like, we're going to save you money, and you're like, oh, this seems like a scam. It's really not. It's one of the few things out there that are real deal, can save you money. You will lock in a price for however many years that you choose, whether it's 5 or 10 years. And that person that locked that deal in for you will get a small piece of that residual income for the next 5, 10 years. But that's fine. They're saving you a ton of money. And how they were able to do it is they were able to go to these different places and be like, all right, which one of you guys wants to give me the best deal? And they get a better deal. And in turn, you're paying lower. So yeah, it works out in the end when you deregulate. And you want to see this. But if you're one of these states that went into the all green basket, and you've got skyscrapers and big cities that you've got to keep lit and running and all this other stuff, solar energy and wind is just not going to cut it. You're going to need more than that. It's rather obvious. And here's another thing. How are you ever going to roll out AI in any of these cities at this rate? AI is going to be like a vacuum that comes in and sucks up all the extra any energy, like a ton of energy. If we're already in a crisis, how are they ever going to be able to have AI roll out if that's the case? Now, I will say that Trump ordered all these new AI places to build their own power plant, which was odd. It's unprecedented. He's never done this to any business anywhere ever. Ordered them to build their own power hub right next door on the property, which is crazy. And he said they could use whatever they want to do it. Nuclear. He even said they could use coal, which was super interesting because if that's the case, they're going to be wanting to buy coal. And that means if you live in the United States and you've got coal on your property, well, you could dig it up and you could technically sell it to them. All right. This would be bringing coal country back to life, which is much needed throughout the Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, all of old coal country. It needs revitalized. And if the government can get away with selling coal all day long to the Chinese without blinking an eye, then what gives? Why are we not allowed? It was to keep us poor, obviously. And during all this, who's been going around snatching up all the land out there ever since lockdowns? BlackRock. Trying to get the key assets, which are things like land with natural resources, with like blue line, water lines that run through them, seams of coal, natural gas, things like that. Lots of timber. That's what's going to be worth a ton going forward. Let's jump on to the chaos that may break loose. I'm gonna stay kind of optimistic here. Try to that they can get this government shutdown figured out here quick within the week. But Poly Market itself is showing like less than 10% chance. Let's see, there's a 15% chance when you get to like the 12th through the 15th of November. And that's it thus far. And, these things change all the time, daily, well, constantly. Oh, wow. John Boy says Oak Ridge, Tennessee has a company that is about to start manufacturing portable nuclear generators. I mean, what could go wrong with all these little mini nuke things all over the place? It just, I put a video out on this one, though. As you can see, it says the well has run dry. USDA says SNAP benefits will expire for 42 million people if the shutdown persists. This isn't good, and you know it. All the people that were making these threats, you would like to think that some aren't going to do it, but I'm going to tell you, they are going to do this. Plenty of these people are going to do this. They will, whether we want them to or not, and all this, they're going to do this. They are going to walk out with bags and bags of groceries. We're going to see this. It's going to happen. And how long that they carry this out for, drag this out for, is going to say a lot. Because, a business might be able to survive getting ransacked one time, but not anymore. I mean, do people forget? People forget what just happened the past few years? story after story, these people just walking in, walking out. Next thing you know, the businesses have to shut down. That is what is coming. For any area that wants to act like animals and do this, you're hurting your own area. I mean, these businesses depend on the transfer of SNAP money into their registers every month. They do. Without it, it cripples them. This is a setup. This whole thing is a setup. Whole thing is a setup. In the end, they want you to come crawling to the government for help, but those that are even on a plan for government help are getting the rug pulled on them here. And yes, we got a ton of people out there that leech off the system that don't need to be getting anything because they're able-bodied, perfectly normal, lazy-ass people that don't want to get out there and do anything. But I think they've changed the rules anyway. Maybe every state's different, but like for the most part, I think you have to work like X amount of hours out there anyhow, or at least show that you're trying to get a job to get these benefits. There's a ton of people out there, man, that milk the system. I've seen grown-ass, lazy-ass adults that do nothing all day long, do nothing. Sit on the phone, do this, do that, they do nothing. They just live off the government. They're able-bodied. And what? They're going to get some assistance because they got a couple kids? Look, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous for them to do nothing. And just be trash people. Also, I guess that sucks. You have to be able to pull your own weight. Something I'll never do again is I'll never help a grown-ass human, adult, they can't help themselves. They don't want to help themselves. Let's put it that way. They just want to be lazy. Spend a lot of time in this life trying to help other people just to get screwed over by them. You don't see none of those people around me because they ultimately just screwed me over. They used me. And I've done nothing to like none of these people. I did pray to God, though, and I asked God, remove all the evil people from around me, all the wicked people. And it's sometimes pretty amazing what happens. Anyhow, I don't know what's going to happen with... I don't have a crystal ball, you know. I will say that as we go through the stories here, things are only going to get worse. So right now, November 1st, all of the SNAP stuff is going to be done. Okay? So expect. Well, how many days we got here? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And it lands on a Saturday. Man, by Monday morning on the 3rd, a week from now, it's going to be getting chaotic. You're going to see it. It's going to start. If they don't get this thing fixed, which they don't seem to be in any rush to do. And again, Polymarket doesn't even have the slightest odds till a couple weeks from now. Now, if it drags on further than that, we're talking major issues in a lot of different ways. We've got the Virginia governor declaring a state of emergency because of this. That's right. State of emergency being declared because they foresee what's going to happen here. And there's the Polymarket odds. Yeah, 46% chance is November 16th or greater. And again, this changes every day. So I don't know what's going to happen here. We could get closer to the 16th and not drop out. Just because of what's being talked about in the news. All I can say is, like, if they don't get this in check before Thanksgiving, it's going to be a nightmare. I don't know. And this Thanksgiving, it seems it's open for attacks. travelers, any and all this. Like we're entering a different time here. Okay, so so that people know, the whole thing with the USDA, what they're saying here is that states can step up, and the state itself can pay for all the SNAP benefits, but they will not be reimbursed. They say because there's some clause, and it's like a setup to me. They say they can't use emergency funds for food stamps, and that if the states do, they can't be refunded. And it's like, oh, so everybody's just screwed then. Sounds like a setup to me. Not all these people deserve this. I know there's people out there, because these are rough times. There are people out there that work and do everything they can to get by and still need EBT. Let's not forget about them. There's a lot of people out there, legitimately, that need some help because this place is falling apart. I get it. This is a scary time for a lot of people, man. Now, not all these people out here that are losing their SNAP are talking about going and walking out of the store and doing what others are. Other people will grab the rifle and they'll go out and they'll go hunting and they'll try to get them some meat in the freezer. And man, never before in my life has it hit home and I felt it and like feel that pain than now. Like I could see, I've got friends and other people out there that hunt. I ain't gonna name them names, but I have cats out there that, like, when hunting season comes around, like right now, they were depending on trying to fill the freezer with an elk or with something out there that they can catch and get their family through the winter. And it will save them a ton. And if they're not getting, I don't know, everybody's different out there. I'm sure people out there get anywhere from 500 to, let's see, 0 by 0. What that meant. Are we good? Mic check. Waiting for some 5x5s. I see by 5x5s. All right. Shoot 5. All right. Thank you. That was quick, Dan. Deer. Yeah, all of them. Deer, elk, all that stuff, man. Some people out there, though, I mean, survival. Thank you. Let it burn. If you can get anything, I mean, everybody checking in with the 5x5s. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, we're heading into a different time. Too many coyotes and wolves ruining hunting? Well, yeah, sometimes they need thinned out. And it makes you wonder why they released them in such large numbers in areas to begin with, when they're just going to become a nuisance like they have. Not to say that wolves and all of them are all bad, because I'd love to see a beautiful wolf. But look, I know the coyotes are crazy. Let me tell you something. And they can be scary. I know more than anybody. I live in an area where, like, you could, like, drive to town and you could see some nutcase with a couple of dead coyotes strapped to the top of his vehicle showing them off. And, like, you could just be out, like, at dark or around dark, chilling, out here in the mountains at your spot. And, like, they creep up and be, like, 20, 30 feet away, like, right in the bush line where you can't see them. And there's dozens of them. And if they spring on a dog or anything else, like, they're trappy. They're really trappy. They'll set traps and try to lure other animals. You can hear them. It sounds like the most god-awful thing. It sounds like a huge pack of wild dogs. It's nuts, man. You got to go out there and buck off some shots, run them off. I don't, usually around here, it just takes a couple warning shots and you can run them off, but you're going to have it. You're going to have it out here. You're going to have it in survival, man. Some people have not a clue what it takes to survive, let me tell you. And again, some people out here, they do it. Salutes to you. They do the damn thing. One of my buddies, D. White, our mod here, he's one that'll get out there and do what the damn thing. He shared that opening image tonight of the beautiful sky was from D. White out doing his thing out there in the wilderness. And thank you for that, brother. I pray to the Most High that you and anyone else out there that is out there depending on stocking their freezer with some meat has some luck. And it all depends on where you're at. Trust me, I know. Like, on what's tainted, what's not. I mean, but what are you getting in the store? You know, really, nobody knows. And look at this. Treasury Secretary warning that they won't be able to pay the military by November 15th. So here we go. You got all these issues, man. You got the SNAP thing. We already seen how a ton of soldiers were in line at food banks, which is it's sad. It's a shame. Like, how? I don't know, but we had a guy step up, a billionaire, and he gave $130 million to pay the troops. That's huge, man. That you don't see that. You don't see acts like this often at all. His name here, I'm looking at that is Timothy. So are they not going to say it here in this one? Well, they were keeping it quiet. And another one, I thought they said that his name was Tim something. Mellon, a wealthy banking hire, railroad magnate who lives in a quiet life in Wyoming. He's the one that stepped up and did it. So, you know, this is a big one. I was just telling you, travel coming up. Air traffic controllers are about to miss their first paycheck. This is already causing problems, as the next couple stories are going to show you. But this is not good at all. And let me just play this clip. It shows you where we sit here.
East DC, this food bank line just for federal workers.
You have to have your government ID.
Stretches around the block. Many furloughed federal employees like Anthony Spite now waiting hours for help.
I have children to feed. I have a family to take care of. I have a mortgage to pay. So it's a lot of uncertainty.
The Bipartisan Policy Center reports 1.4 million civilian federal employees like Spite did not get paid today.
I never thought that I would be in this predicament where I'm in need of assistance. Thank you.
Under a 2019 law, federal workers will be reimbursed at the end of the government shutdown. But that help could still be a long way away, with Congress not in session.
How does it make you feel that members of Congress are still getting a paycheck right now?
You know, if we're not getting paid, I honestly feel that their checks should be withheld as well.
And as food banks face an influx of federal...
Well, that's like I said before. There should be a law to where Congress is not getting paid, period. Like, how can they be getting paid in all this? You know, it just... People are pissed off, man. And I can understand, you know, the frustration here. It's like a setup, I told you. So, the air traffic controllers going into Thanksgiving, not good. Look at this one. They're calling this the Democrat government shutdown, of course. But the chaos brings Los Angeles airport to a standstill. Already. So, I mean, this is one of the busiest travel hubs in the world. Right ahead of, you know, a month ahead of the busiest holiday season in the world, you know, of the year. this is it's not looking good. Saying, man, I'd be paying attention to this stuff and like making plans accordingly if we get closer and closer. Like, it's gonna get chaotic if we get to the first and this is still going on. You can see here, it spreads to Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. FAA issues a ground delay because of staffing issues. Why? Because of the shutdown. There you go. 2 states already seeing situations, having issues, and the party hasn't even really got started yet in terms of chaos. And people are taking second jobs out there. I'm gonna play this clip. This guy explains this. This is I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but
Americans who receive benefits from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program may not receive those benefits next month. While the Department of Transportation is warning air traffic controllers who are required to work during the federal government shutdown, nearly 11,000 federal employees, they will be missing their first paycheck this upcoming Tuesday. The issues of this stare down remain the same, as President Trump told us right here last weekend.
They want $1.5 trillion for health care for illegal aliens that come into our country. If we do that, it will jeopardize the health care of the citizens of our country. So we're not going to do that.
Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive with the very latest is Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Secretary, good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks, Maria. Good to be with you.
Are you seeing a lot of TSA and transportation workers now call in sick, say they're not coming to work since they're not getting paid?
Yeah, so they got their notice on Thursday and Friday. They get a notice of what they're going to be paid on Tuesday, and they got a big fat zero. No paycheck is coming on Tuesday. And so I've been out talking to our air traffic controllers, and you can see the stress. These are people that oftentimes live paycheck to paycheck, or one controller has a stay-at-home spouse. They're concerned about gas in the car. They're concerned about child care and mortgages. And so I'm seeing the stress come for the controllers. Just yesterday, Maria, we had 22 staffing triggers. That's one of the highest that we've seen in the system since the shutdown began. And that's a sign that the controllers are wearing thin. And again, they're taking second jobs. They're out there looking, can I drive Uber? Can I find another source of income to make ends meet until Democrats stop with the radical push for illegal migrants and actually open up the government? And so what I see coming forward as we get to Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that you're going to see more staffing shortages in towers, which means you're going to see more delays, more cancellations, and then you see more Americans frustrated at Democrats, and they'll say, open up the government, enough is enough.
Tell me about this staffing trigger. Explain that to us. In other words, people are not coming to work because they're not getting paid.
That's right. Well, we have more people calling in sick, more people not showing up for work. And again, by the way, Maria, my message has been to the controllers, show up. That's your job. Eventually, you're going to be paid. But there's real life situations that they're dealing with their families. I was in one of the towers.
Garbage. This situation is garbage. Absolute garbage. Our congressman, there needs to be a law on the books tonight that says that none of these congressmen, no one, not a single politician, none of them get paid a dime when the government shut down. I mean, that is their job. And if the thing is shut down, why should they get paid? They're essential. Essential to what? You're just sitting there. You can't even resolve the issue. So you're telling me you're going to take people out of critical positions like control towers, and it's over something like you don't want to pay them when you control the money printer and the flow of money and all this? This is a setup. This is a setup. Just like all of it is. That's all I can keep saying, because it is. This is all manufactured. It should not be this way. He just told you right there. I told you, he told you, it's about to get super chaotic. Okay? Comrade, thank you. Yeah, I thought slavery was illegal. That's why I call this the land of the free slave. Steve dropping 10 memberships. Everybody that got them, welcome to the underground. Thank you so much, Steve. Relentless support. And Meat Puppet sliding in, buying a coffee. Says, do you think the shutdown and snap canceling in November is an intentional setup to cause enough chaos to collapse the system and implement the B system? Much love. Hey, good question. It can cause some chaos, you know. It could be a precursor here. Look, no matter what the reason, if things were to get chaotic, it's going to look a certain way. And where would that come from? It would come from people lacking supplies. And this is the perfect instance. You know, when things start to shut down, people can't get food, can't get, you know, resources. You're going to start to see some crazy things happen. The only way that you're going to know is if this drags out long enough. My guess it's going to benefit them, the government, to carry this shutdown on as long as they possibly can, even past Thanksgiving toward Christmas. Super extended, people super hurting, and what they're going to do is they're going to see at least a window. You're talking about a government that likes to observe everything like it's in a petri dish. So this is an experiment, and they're going to take these 42 million people and they're going to watch them squirm, and they're going to give them, I don't know, give them first 30 days at least, and we'll see where this is at. So from November 1st to December 1st, it'll stay shut down, and that will be a 30-day window, just 30 days, 1 month, to see what happens to society, to these people in 1 month's time if you cut off all the government-funded food supply and everything else. If there's no one manning the towers, like, this place will start to fall apart. I mean, to me, it seems we've had a small taste of this in the past, small bits, but nothing like this. This seems to be, you know, this was on the list of orchestrated events to go down here. Well timed and everything else. And look, the government really shut down right when this 3-eye Atlas mystery object got right outside of Mars. And, like, of course, it's staying shut down this whole time. If it stays shut down going into December, like we're saying here, within, like, it's literally, the government would have been shut down during the whole entire inner solar system pass through of this object. That screams at me, there's something going on, son. There's something going on, son. You know, like, there's something with this. Well, you know, all I could say is it isn't looking good from here at this point. I don't know. Some people could say keep it shut down, but again, you can't keep it shut down if these goons are getting paid. Like, take their pay away. Already in a recession, in a slide into the greatest depression real quick. 1010 on it. Much love. I seen that earlier this morning. It was one of my daily signs. I get 1111s, 111s, 222s. I get them every day, all the time. It just happens, and it's a normal thing to me anymore. Today, walked in here, it was 1010 when I looked at the phone. And I don't just come in here and constantly check the phone. It doesn't work like that. You can't plan it. It has to just naturally happen. It happens to me all the time. And to me, it's a sign showing me that I'm on the right path to keep pushing, doing what I'm doing. 1010 is your B-Day. Much love. And you can look into the angel numbers. They all carry different significance. Different. They all may have a little bit different meaning. But me, it's different with me. To me, it's just the other side, always showing me in the moment. Because something stopped me dead in my track, had me come over and look at my phone for no reason. I look at it, it's 10:10. It's like, oh, okay. That was the signal. That was my sign. Again, for the day, it was keep on doing what you're doing. Saying keep on, that's how it works with me. Germany falling apart. I know many people don't care, but if you want to pay attention to what's happening, like globally, everything's falling apart. They just blew up the last nuclear plant. This is ridiculous. So now you talk about going green, all your eggs in one basket, like all solar and having no nuclear option at all. Like, this is a setup. Again, all of it is a setup. Germany's industrial core is collapsing. The whole economy, France is collapsing. Like, all of it is collapsing, man. You've seen the protests in all these other countries and where they've been ran up in by immigrants that will not assimilate. Ireland, UK. Like, all these places are being afflicted. And this is crazy. Like, economically, global collapse is about to happen. And they say they want to take this to a multipolar world order is where they're taking this. Which means we would have to get knocked off our perch, large scale. The dollar would have to lose its status, its reserve currency status, by and large. And there would have to be a plethora of currencies then accepted. And then gold would become super king, which it already is. But it would become super duper king, sevenfold in the house. It's evident the fentanyl is being purposely distributed around the world for population control. Oh yeah, it's a weapon. It's the number one weapon. It's killed more people than I know in this life than anything I could ever tell you. More than car wrecks, more than starvation, suicide, whatever it is. Gun play, whatever. Murders, whatever. Like, fentanyl has killed more people than I know. It took more friends that I knew in this life away from me than anything. It is a direct weapon. And those cats would have all been soldiers. Soldiers against the beast. Damn right. And they weren't guys that were looking for death, man. And they weren't guys that were like big junkies. Neither. None of them. Almost all the people that I know that died from fentanyl got deceived. They got their hands on a pill or something that they took. Like they thought they were taking a Percocet or... even in one instance, person thought it was this Tylenol, just for a headache, and it was laced, and they're dead, they're gone, and it pisses me off. I start, give me some break. I can start smashing everything when I start thinking about it, man. I got a whole page of people here that I started writing down names. This whole page, it's insane. It pisses me off. You see, when you say that it's a weapon, trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Here's another weapon. It's called AI. And it's a weapon when it's not used in the right ways. It could be used righteously, as I said before. If we trained AI righteously, someone needs to do it. And that's just how I see it. I feel like all the evil has all the control out here. Like, it's kind of like having all these an evil bot army, all these Terminator bots, but you have to have a couple of good guys, R2D2 and 3CPO, the good guys, to represent. Like, I don't know, but they're saying that AI is becoming the weak link in cybersecurity. And like, duh, because it can instantly find a way in back doors way quicker than humans are used to protecting against. And I was telling you about the nuclear thing here. And I also mentioned how Trump said that these places, all these AI companies, can build their own power hub on their property, which is kind of crazy because instantly I asked, why is that? And then, like, the answer came to me, like, because, like, when the grid goes down, like, they're still going to have they're still going to have power. It's like, well, duh, then. Like, can't everybody see this? Like, they're preparing in the open for all these places to stay operational for this event. Or else they wouldn't even be doing it. They're making sure some of these places stay online while the rest of us are in the dark. Do you see? Look at this. The Army is bringing nuclear microreactors to all of its bases. The same concept by 2028. Same thing. Hold up, dude. Hold up. We're driving across the countryside all of a sudden, and now every single facility that we see has its own little nuclear hub. So there's little nuclear mini reactors all over the place now. Come 2030, what does that mean for the rest of us? They are making sure that the critical AI facilities in our military bases all have power, even by nuclear reactor, right underneath the nose of the people. What are they expecting? What are they planning for? They've never done this before. What is coming? Something is coming. Hopefully you have the eyes to see it. You know, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. We only made some music about it and preached about it for all these years. Gina Marie, thank you for the super chat. Much love. God bless. I'm just saying, you never know when one of these is going to... Do you live close to an army base? Huh? Anybody out there? This is possibly something you're going to have to deal with in the future, in your backyard, near you. It's nothing until all of a sudden there's a problem or an issue, or one of these micro reactors blows up in your backyard. You know, just saying. I mean, and you know, I always say there's one option, there's one answer to all this, and we know they got it, and it's Tesla energy. It's 0 point energy, free energy, ether energy, right out of the ether. You know they got it. We all know they got it. All the rest is shenanigans. It's all a scam. It's all a game of control. So, and I really see the future beast system running off that. And here's why. When I go back and I look at history, if I look at like Atlantis, for instance, the legend, and how this planet was set up, it seems to have been set up on an energy grid where everything was tapped into the natural cycle of like all the ley lines and all that. And those intersecting points are magnification points where it's amplified. And we know this now. But the world was set up like, and you could tap into this. And places like Atlantis and all this would have been set up with all this free energy. You wouldn't need power plants, nuclear power plants. That's why you'll never find any. They weren't needed. But what you would find are the remnants of the older technology. I mean, this is why all the ancient places I feel are in a war zone today. I was talking to Spiro about this. Like, bro, like, we need to get out and do some things. And like, I'd love to go down to Mexico, but like, it's a war zone now. Like the last location we could have went down and explored, temples and pyramids and all these lost places in the jungle, and went down, all of us. I could have had a bunch of you join me. Let's just go down for an expedition right now, have a blast, and let the Indiana Jones loose in us and never know what we're going to find. But we can't do it. Because, again, every single one of these places is a war zone. Pisses me off. Although America still has a lot of treasures out there to be found, and what they've done is they've just made these places, like half the country, a national park. So really, anywhere that's called a national park, I'm telling you, there's something majestic and very ancient hidden within it. And they know this. That's why it's a national park. And that's why they don't want you flying your drone in it or anything else. You could be out in the Badlands of Utah, in the middle of a freaking desert, and they will not let you fly your drone to see what's going on in there. Why? Oh, you might crash it and it might harm a rock out in the middle of the desert. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's pathetic. I got right to the edge out there flying my drone. And then my target spot, which we never did end up getting to because the mission got crazy. Dude, we found all kinds of craziness. I found a huge sundial out in the middle of, like, there should be signs saying, like, the Paiute Indians made this or somebody made this. There's nothing. They just forget about it. Like, however many square miles is one big park. And then the next place. That's why Utah is like one big park. You got the Badlands, you got Archlands, you got all these places. There's stuff hidden within all of them, I'm telling you. And there's a reason why you're out there and you can look at some of these. They're not even mountains. They look like ancient structures, like ancient castles, and even like a sphinx and all types of stuff, man. It's really there. It's mind-blowing. When you're out there and you see it, it does not look natural. The whole reason I went out west anyway was because I discovered on satellite imagery some ancient stuff, and I couldn't believe it. And we had to go find out. And let me tell you, dude, there's stuff all across this country. Get out there while you can, man. Well, they ain't got this place locked down again. I'm chomping at the bit. We keep talking about doing something. Like, I'm lining something up. Like, we're getting another run and another mission. I don't know what it's going to be, but like something's coming up. It may be going to scope out one of these bio labs. Who knows where one's at? Just like we scoped out Area 51. These bio labs operating worldwide. Okay, and they're popping up all over the place. Okay, and there's different levels. There's BSL level 3, BSL level 4. And if something bad happens at one of these places, you're talking like 28 days later, or kind of like anything could happen. Something escapes one of these labs, man. It's not good. But they're popping up here in the States and globally, like all over the place. And you just never know who's going to have one. You know, where one's going to pop up. So, like right here, India's got them, Russia's got them, the United States has got BSL 4 labs with 14 active facilities as of 2023, including the Galveston National Laboratory. So you got there's Texas, Boston University, and a bunch of others. You got Atlanta there and Georgia listed. Like I said, 14 active facilities just in America. So I'm going to dive deeper into that. I'm going to click on it. It says 14 active. See what it shows us here. If it give us a list here of Fort Detrick, it mentions here, out of Maryland, which we know has always had issues. Contamination runs all the way up into Jersey. All these different sites, old sites. I'll have to come back and read up on this. It doesn't look like it lists specific all 14 by name right there, but I'll do some more digging. Be interesting to know where these sites are, don't you think? All right, let's jump into, well, let me get an update on what time it is. Come up with 10:30. All right. Which little Geo. A judge gives the Charlie Kirk alleged assassin his first legal victory, allows Tyler Robinson to appear in court in civilian clothing. How are they bending and bowing to his demands? No one else would get this treatment. That's how you know this is all politicized. And they banned the media from recording. Dude. They banned the media from recording him entering and exiting the courthouse. Not courtroom, the courthouse. Yeshua is king. Anybody out there just so happen going to be on an adjacent rooftop with a camera here when this goes down? I have a drone. I don't know. Like, this is like, you're telling me no one's going to be able to get a clip of this guy entering and leaving? Like, this is super suspect. And then they're going to what? Give you some cartoon images that they drew to show that he was in there? Like, the way this game is, man, I don't get it. Someone's going to get a clip of him. You have to, or else he wasn't there in my book. Let's get an update on Diddy. That's right. Sean Diddy Combs. He gets a prison release date that's revealed. He has to serve 50 months, a week sentence for everything he was up against, and he is set for an early release. There you go. And before it's all said and done, betcha he catches a pardon. Betcha. Pathetic. What do you expect from pedo protectors? They protect pedos and murderers and everything else. It pisses me off. Anyhow, Trump. A lot of speculation going on about his health, and it's for legitimate reason. You don't get MRIs done for nothing. You don't. Okay? And there has to be something specific going on that they're looking for to send you for the MRI, which means there's something underlying going on. And they're not going to say. I mean, they never said nothing was wrong with Biden the entire time until he got out and they're like, oh, yeah, he's got all this prostate cancer and all this other crap. It's like, oh, you lied to us the entire time, obviously. But I want to play this clip because they called him out on it. How much he's taken off guard, I don't know, but he responds about, and he admits he did have the MRI, and I just want to put it out there.
Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing, and it was perfect. Yeah.
Did you say one in particular?
You could ask the doctors. In fact, we have doctors traveling with us, but I think they gave you a very conclusive. Nobody has ever given you reports like I gave you. And if I didn't think it was going to be good, either I would let you know negatively, I wouldn't run, I'd do something. But the doctor said some of the best reports for the age, some of the best reports they've ever seen.
One theory on how you might try to serve a third term is that you could run as the vice president.
Yeah, I'd be allowed to.
I mean, he's getting older. No one's perfect. Everyone falls apart and dies at some point. So it's not if there's something pops up, they should be transparent, about stuff, not hide it, is how I feel. A lot of people pissed off. A lot of people ticked off for Trump, and as days go by, more and more people jump and ship. I seen famous one of the more famous UFC fighters Bryce Mitchell come out and basically say that he's done with Trump too. And he admitted, he's like, he fooled me. He fooled me, tricked me. And, people could laugh at him and say this and that, but like, no, why laugh at someone that's honest and real about it? That has the kahunas to sit there and say that they were wrong, that they got tricked, and admit it. I give him a salute for it. Yeah, I agree, Susie. Newsom, he admits he is eyeing a 2028 White House run. So get ready. I told you. It's obvious. The way they position these people, and he is just the bloodline anyway. So, yeah, Newsom is in the run. Kamala comes out the shadows and says, I'm not done. Seriously, that's what she says. I'm not done. She teases a new White House run. Really? Got another vice run in her. This is kind of scary because they gave us Biden. No one did anything. All the patriots sat there and did nothing. Waited it out for 4 years. Till they got Trump, and now they sit there and they still do nothing. So if they give you Newsom and Kamala, then what are they going to do? They're going to wait 4 more years for Vance. Or something stupid. We're smoked. Smoked chicken. No militias, no patriots, nowhere to be found. All under a MAGA spell. I say it every stream, and I beg for someone to email me telling me about some huge event where a militia's at, where someone's exercising their freedom, and it never happens. I always repeat myself right there because it never happens. Not one. Not one. Not one group in any state, anywhere, anyone knows of. It's pathetic. There is no cavalry coming to the rescue. But Trump is acting, he's playing into this whole thing. He could have a third term. Some people are like, oh, it's crap and this and that. Well, I played this clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing here. This is Bannon.
At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President...
Okay, then we've gotten 28. That's what he's saying. That's the clip that I played. Well, they asked Trump about it. He plays right into it. He's basically saying, he put it out there. He says, technically, he could run as the vice president, and then the president stepped down, and he'd be president again. Technically. And basically, he's acting like he could pull this maneuver off openly, and the people would support it.
Sir, Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans for you to be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the court to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know. But I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars and a 9th is coming. I believe Russia-Ukraine will happen.
You said that for 2028, there are very good people.
Well, we have great people. Well, I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have JD, obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think, I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they ever formed a group, it would be unstoppable. I really do. I believe that. I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers. If you read it,
listen to him.
Am I not ruling it out? You'll have to tell me. All I can tell you is that we have a great group of people, which they don't. They have Jasmine.
He is
Crockett,
all about
a low
it.
IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test. Have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard. They're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering.
He's serious about all this.
The readout from Walter Reed mentioned advanced medical imaging. Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I got an MRI.
Okay, this is the full piece. I I wanted to play all that so you could hear what he was saying in terms of all that. It seems to me Newsom and AOC are probably going to be your picks. Oh, okay. So Kepar says only 2 years, though. After 2 years, you would have to step down, constitutionally speaking, of course. But as we know, the elite and the feds don't necessarily follow the rules of the Constitution. You got that right. He does love trolling, doesn't he? He does love trolling. He's coming from the same guy that said a few weeks ago he was never going to run. He's ready to retire and all this other stuff. Like, I'm just telling you what they're putting out there. Let's jump into some New York insanity. What I'm talking about is that this again feels like a setup. I don't live in New York, but New York is part of my country, okay? And to see this Mom Donnie sliding into power is a setup. I mean, it's just like Blind 11. This is a setup. You're going to bring this communist whatever with all this ways of thinking, destructive against our freedoms and our rights, our ways. You're going to let him slide up in here and there's no big counter. Like, I don't hear Trump out there. Like, no one's barking loud against him. It's like y'all just letting him come in and set up shop. Oh, you backed Cuomo against him, but Cuomo, no one stands a chance. Y'all just going to sit there quietly, let this dude. This is a scam. This is part of an agenda, is how I see it. This isn't good. If they make NYC like a Muslim stronghold, what's anybody going to do? Nobody ever does nothing. What are you going to do about what they're doing up in Michigan? Huh? What are you doing? There's hundreds of thousands of them, and they're allowing them to gather right now. They're growing bigger and bigger. You can't find a Christian group that'll gather more than 10 people anywhere. I keep asking you for it. They're out there by the thousands every weekend, training, sharpshooting in the mountains of Virginia. The feds even know where they're at. Training, sharpshooting, training for what? To kill who? It ain't going to be the feds. So who do you think it's going to be? The hardest hit is going to be when people get blindsided by all this because they sit there and they do nothing. So now imagine 24 years after 9/11, the Dems are running a jihadi communist for mayor that's about to get it. Okay. Now questions are surfacing as he paints Muslims as the real victims of 9/11. Dude, the blood starts to boil. And this isn't surprising. Half of the communist Mamdani's campaign donations come from outside New York City and outside of the country, all over. Like, this is crazy. They're sitting back watching this man get installed. Well, how's that? Well, then they have to be a part of it. And look what they're doing with AOC. They got AOC up on a stage trying to rally the crowd all around this dude, this communist dude. Just to running her mouth.
This city was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life,
Oh,
Native
switch that
people
accent up.
standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country, in a vision
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. So they're gonna run her and in Newsom, it seems. Here is a positive though. It looks like Antifa and their encampment in Portland, the ICE facility, has been dismantled.
Antifa in Portland has lost their battle. You have absolutely nobody outside the ICE building right now. Their encampment has been completely shut down. You do not see a single member of Antifa, as the police actually came in today and said they cannot no longer be here. It looks like a hoarder's house here, but you have quite literally everything from buckets full of medicine, toothpaste, floss. You have
I don't know how
food
smart
right
that
here.
was.
You have
a needle.
All sorts of medical gear as well. They had boxes full of masks, and they had a load supply of water. They had all of their supplies and party supplies in here.
Again.
And they even had things such as fridges, and they even had a barbecue here as well. So this is the end of Antifa for right now. It's been completely dismantled. Here is the barbecue they had right here. Absolutely is gone, Antifa.
So they cleared them out for the moment, but that's what happens when the military hits the ground with guns and they sweep through, and they tend to eventually overcome the people with no guns and everything else, and they run them out. It happens, and this is what's happening. Let's look at this next one. This one right here shows that there has been massive purchases of riot gear for like Antifa here, and all by Riot Inc., the same networks I've showed you, Soros and company, all the minions that are forking up money for this. They're buying masks. Like the ones here, they're not cheap. They're buying them by the thousands and tens of thousands. Huge orders, which shows that like they're preparing for something. That's red flags are flying. It shows that like they're stocking up, like something big is coming. So they're going to be prepared. They're going to have all their people with those masks able to withstand chemical munitions on the front line. That's pretty much what it's all for right there. And to hide their faces. So here's one. I was going to put this in the title tonight, but there's so much going on. We have a brand new task force, or forces, that have been launched all across the country. All of a sudden. Not ICE. These are different. The FBI and Homeland Security have introduced new task forces cracking down on foreign gangs that are operating in the United States. So you got more dudes that are going to be rolling up, jumping out of Toyota Priuses in all black with no badges, no identification, face covered with an AR, going after people. This is not what you want. When the tables turn down the road, it's over. As the right sits back and allows them to attack the left and put all these laws into place, as soon as the tables turn, they're smoked. They're smoked. And they're not even intelligent enough to figure this out. Task force, they're not even ICE strike teams, not even Homeland strike teams now. There's a brand new task force. They're getting so brazen. Okay, again, when they lock this place back down over the next event, the real thing where bodies drop, all these strike teams will be used against purebloods. That's right. You remember it. So MSNBC claims that Trump wants to use the military as a private army to kill Americans. Well, some say that sounds kind of crazy. I say there's some partial truth to it. Yeah. In the end. What'd I just tell you? What'd I just tell you? This place gets locked down again. No one will say a word. It'd be crickets. Like, purebloods will become the hunted. Because you'll be deadly. You could spread the disease. It's going to change quick. It's a nightmare that I pray I don't have to live through, but it looks like they're going to play the card here sooner than later. Unfortunately, they didn't lock us all down and beta test it for nothing. They ran their beta test. They got their data. And, by the looks of it, Bill Gates and Donald Trump had dinner this year at Mar-a-Lago discussing how to make money off of mRNA. And I guarantee you that has everything to do with an event to make that money. Duh. Wonder what they talked about and what they know. People are foolish. This is a mafia running this country and running all of it. So the DOJ and the acting U.S. attorney in California are now weighing RICO charges against Antifa and far-left domestic terrorists. Now, again, as most people sit back and do nothing or say anything, this is all being put in place so it can be used against you down the road. But again, some people are so short-sighted, so small-minded. They can't see that. I don't get it.
We've charged some conspiracies. We are looking at RICO, but really the FBI is just getting its hands around the Antifa. Up until the president and the Attorney General, Pam Bondi's been so aggressive on this, up until they've made Antifa a domestic organization, I have to tell you, Laura, they weren't taking them very seriously. They were just saying, you know what, these are just some vandalizers, some small assaults, we'll let the states handle them. The FBI did not take them seriously until this new administration. So we are now getting up to speed on those investigations and doing intelligence and applying other assets to figure out how they work and who they are.
They're talking RICO charges. Same thing Trump said he was going to throw on Soros. They ain't. They could have went and arrested Soros yesterday. He lives in New York. They didn't. It's all a show. It's a puppet show. And I just feel like a huge event's going to come. You've got Bolton and Comey and all these guys getting indicted. And oh yeah, the Bidens just said, we're going to cancel our deposition for a later date and not even give a later date. Like, what? Like, who can get away with that? Like, how? This whole thing is as corrupt as it gets. And can someone please explain why so many of the minorities, the illegals that are arrested, are booked and put into the system as a white male? This is like the third time I've reported on this. It keeps happening. It gets worse and worse. And this is the same thing over and over. It's the same thing I've shown you before. They're putting them in the system, and this inflates the numbers. This is like criminal on behalf of like the beast. They obviously has something against the white man. They hate him. Everybody's got to be a far-right neo-Nazi, right? It's always the problem. And as you can see here, they're inflating the numbers, trying to say that, like, all these crimes, or the guy sitting in jail right now, if you were to go look at stats with no images, it would show you white man. And someone could be like, look, this jail's full of white men. Well, no, it's not. It's all illegals and it's lying. That's the truth. That's how corrupt of a world and a system and this whole thing is, man. It's just screwed up, man. Can't even get nothing right. Yeah, Palantir, we already know, full of. And yeah, they're part of the beast system. And Peter Thiel is just that dude. Part of the club. Let me jump into the military stuff here. Toward the end of this, to get this wrapped up, we've got Russian forces tightening the noose around a Donetsk stronghold. 10,000 Ukrainian troops face complete encirclement or liquidation. They got to do something here, but things are getting wild. Zelensky declares an expansion of long-range attacks on Russia's oil refineries, going deeper and deeper into the country. And as I showed on the last stream, they don't need Tomahawks. All of a sudden, they got this new makeshift Tomahawk, pretty much. They can strike Moscow at any moment. So things, it's like a yo-yo, up, down, up, down. You never know what's going to be here. Trump just said in that other interview clip that he thinks he's going to get the 9th peace deal with Ukraine. He keeps saying this, but he's playing hardball out here on the front. He says he will not meet Putin until there's a deal on Ukraine. So he's not going to meet him until they get real on a deal. Putin telegraphs this sign that and basically says, look, we're going to have weapons that can hit you guys that are invincible. This nuclear capable cruise missile. Trump responds like, look, we've got nuclear subs looking like they can hit you like right now. Like that's how they start talking to each other. At the same time, Chinese nationals get arrested for trying to smuggle uranium. Like the Chinese nationals just keep getting busted doing all these things. And Trump wants to bring 600,000 more of them in here. Like, dude, it's all a puppet show. It's all fraudulent. Then we have 2 aircraft that just went down in the South China Sea. Trump raises an eyebrow and says, man, there's something weird with this. The official reason is bad fuel. His reaction to it even said that, man, seems there might have been something going on here. But what do you think is going to happen in the South China Sea? China, huge threat to America here on the world stage, obviously. Japan is going to, as this says, play a much greater role as an adversary in advancing the American agenda in Asia. So this is big. Japan's been there next to our side ever since the end of the last war because, the way things went down and the military pacts and everything that was put into motion. But at this point, they're going to be key to anything against China. In Venezuela, let me just set the stage here for where this is going. You remember when Trump just got robbed for the Nobel Peace Prize and they gave it to like some lady that no one ever heard of? Well, it isn't just a nobody. It's the opposition leader of Venezuela. That's who the lady is. What are the odds of that? What are the odds they're going to give that Nobel Peace Prize to a lady that would, I don't know, go into power if Maduro was removed? That's who we're talking about here. This woman would slide into power, no doubt. And she's already on the ground well known, which is different than the last time they tried this with Wang Yaddo. So now they've got a Nobel Peace Prize winning candidate sitting here that no one's going to argue with, that if she replaces Maduro, they'll all gladly accept it. And then it's easily done.
I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country.
We're just going to kill people.
That's it. President Trump with a stern warning to the drug cartels during a roundtable meeting with the Homeland Security Task Force on Thursday. He will kill you. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has ordered the USS Gerald Ford and its strike group to the waters off of South America to bolster President Trump's efforts to destroy all boats allegedly carrying illegal and deadly narcotics marked for the United States. Meanwhile, the Pentagon confirmed the U.S. military destroyed a Tren de Aragua boat in the Caribbean. that was suspected of trafficking illegal narcotics into America. It marks the 10th strike on suspected drug boats since September, as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is now pleading with the United States not to engage in what he is calling, quote, a crazy war. In August, the Justice Department announced it was offering a $50 million reward, leading to the arrest and conviction of Maduro on drug trafficking charges. Joining me now with more on President Trump's battle with drug traffickers from Mexico and Venezuela is Maduro opposition leader and 2025 Nobel Peace Prize winner, Maria Corina Machado. Maria, thanks very much for being here, and congratulations on the Nobel Peace Prize.
Thank you very much, Maria.
I want to get your take on these boats blowing up. The U.S. is meeting these boats with fire. Do you believe that Maduro is running the Venezuelan end of this?
Oh, absolutely.
Listen.
Everybody knows Maduro is the head of the biggest cartel, drug cartel, Cartel of the Suns, also the head of the Tren de Aragua, a criminal network that has committed crimes in the U.S., in Canada, up down to Argentina and Chile. It's all run by Maduro. He has been destroying the lives of millions of Venezuelan people and turned our country into the safe haven for Russian, Iranian forces, Cuban agents, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Colombian guerrilla to operate freely for 26 years.
Wow. What do you think should be done about this? Do you agree with President Trump's tact to just blow up these boats as they approach America?
Look, the only way to dismantle a criminal structure is to cut their inflows of criminal money. You have to cut the resources that come from drug trafficking, gold smuggling, arms smuggling, even human trafficking that Maduro heads and operates from Venezuela. It was Maduro who declared a war on us Venezuelans after we won by the landslide in a presidential election last year. So he has applied state terrorism inside towards our people and narco-terrorism abroad to the nations of the Western Hemisphere. So Maduro is the one who started the war. President Trump is stopping the war.
So this is clear to me. This is their person. She is seated in, thick, heavy. She speaks very fluent and really good English. She already has a large backing of people that is against Maduro within the country. This is it. As soon as they take him out, I could see someone like her rising right to the top and filling the gap. And she just said 26 years of all this stuff going on. Of course, she, in my book, is a tool of the CIA. Or the West, however you want to call it. I mean, she's working with them hand in hand. Again, of all the people on the planet that just won the Nobel Peace Prize, it's this woman. Get out of here. Get out of here. Like, it's destined to go down this way. Like, and yeah, like, once they have a leader in there that she's all about Trump. You just heard what that lady said. She says Trump's here to end it, end all this bad stuff. She will work with Trump on whatever deals that he wants for Venezuelan oil. Like we want it for like, you know, a nickel a barrel or whatever. Like she's going to be like, okay. You know, like she's the puppet. I'm telling you. In the meantime, Maduro boasting he has thousands of Russian anti-air missiles on the coastline. He's ready for war, and we've surrounded the area. I showed you at the beginning of the stream. Our assets are all over the Caribbean, and there's a big earthquake right there where they're sitting. And Maduro is now trying to allege he has detained a CIA group and that they were trying to orchestrate a false flag attack within the country. Of course, they're trying to say that it's a farce and he's lying, but I don't know about that. They're trying to get him, and this is the stuff you would see when they're trying to get him. So He's not only accusing the U.S., but also Trinidad and Tobago of orchestrating this whole thing. I told you, they're like 12 miles off the coast there of Venezuela. Like, they're involved in this. The U.S. is from every island in the island chain, from Puerto Rico down to Trinidad, Tobago. The U.S. military's lurking. We've got submarines in the water lurking. We've got Poseidons in the air lurking. Dude, like, this is about to become the big war front that we warned you about. And it could go down like a series of quick decapitation strikes. If they take out Maduro and his main group and the rest of the guys surrender, then it could be a smooth transition. That's what they would hope for. But if they got to chase him around all over the place, and it's guerrilla warfare in the cities and all this stuff, it's going to drag it out, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, this goes beyond Venezuela now. Okay? This goes beyond it. Right? They're sending Southcom, strike groups, aircraft carriers, like everything you can think of. They're sending down here. But guess what? It's not just for Maduro. The U.S. slaps extensive sanctions on the largest supplier of cocaine in the world, and that is Colombia, and their president and his family. Over what? Narco trade. You know what they did to Pablo Escobar? You ever seen it? You ever went back seen the documentaries and everything that went down? Worth going and checking out what they'll do to get their man. And now that they got targets on these two leaders in Colombia and Venezuela, I'm telling you right now, they're about to go clean them out. They're about to go clean them out, man. Like, it's about to go down, man. This dude could get killed tonight. You understand? That's where we are at with this. And, it's the element of surprise. It would pay them to take this dude out maybe before Maduro, or maybe at the same time. Coordinated regime change in both areas. Because that's what this is. I don't know who the replacement would be in Colombia, but trust me, they would definitely have a plan here. They have some man, some woman, someone selected. We're just seeing who they've got to take over for Maduro, the freaking Nobel Peace Prize winner. Like, this whole thing is staged and set up. No wonder Trump didn't have. And I knew when Trump was like, "Oh, I don't care." He's like, "I heard the lady's cool. I don't know who she is." I knew he was lying. I just knew it. He knew who she was. He knows of this whole plan. That's how I know he's lying. He knows of this whole plan. How could he not? How could he not? Like, get out of here. Like, this dude smoked. This dude is going to get smoked. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I don't know how well this guy takes care of his country and his people. I'm going to dive into that from here. I do know, though, he is the leader of a country that runs all the cocaine. But it's not like Trump's the righteous man that he's trying to portray. Stopping all these wars, man of peace, and all this garbage. Like, they'll murder people for their own reasons, just the same. Like, they're smoking these dudes in these boats. They don't care who it is. And all this. And they don't really care about drugs like that. They never have. They brought them here since Bush, Burma, all that crap. Same thing with the fentanyl and Xi Jinping. He don't care. His words were, Xi said he was going to stop sending it, so I'll take his word for it. Like, dude, get out of here. Like, this is set up. We're done. We're done. It's a setup. It's a setup. The Chinese are going to take the blame for it in the end, and I'm going to play for you a clip. Take us out of here, end this tonight. A new clip that shows you again. Oh, and let me point this out. Look at this. This is mind-blowing. Can you believe that freaking Vladimir Zelensky owns a company called Devegra? They just purchased Pathfinder Ranches for 79 million in the United States, putting Zelensky in the top 10 of landowners. Can you believe this?
Deal of almost mythical scale has just closed in the heart of the American West.
Crazy.
Devegra Ltd., a Cyprus-based company owned by Volodymyr Zelensky, has purchased the Pathfinder Ranches in Wyoming, a property so vast it's bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island and over 4 times the size of New York City. At more than 916,000 acres, Pathfinder Ranches stretches across 4 Wyoming counties: Natrona, Carbon, Sweetwater, and Fremont. To put that in perspective, the fictional Dutton family's ranch in the hit TV series Yellowstone is said to span about 700,000 acres. Pathfinder Ranches is 20% larger. The seller, Salmons Enterprises, was represented by Swan Land Company based in Bozeman, Montana, with brokers Scott Williams and Michael Swan leading the transaction. The buyer, Devegra Limited, a company owned by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, was represented by Hall & Hall, one of the nation's premier ranch brokerages. The deal was finalized on October 24th, just a week after Zelensky's visit to the White House. The first public confirmation of the sale came when Swan Land Company announced the closing on their official website. While the final purchase price was not disclosed, the ranch had been listed at $79.5 million. With this purchase, Zelensky now ranks 9th among America's largest private landowners. Michael Swan of Swan Land Company called the sale a legacy moment for Wyoming ranching.
Are you freaking kidding me? Like, is this a joke? That's all I keep thinking about. No, it's not April 1st. Like, this is... I go back into my Limp Bizkit, give me something to break mode. This is insane. The satanic dude just... We're going to keep going here. All right. I'm going to end it with this. This is what I want you to see. Okay? This is what's critical. I tell you all the time. I'll give some final thoughts after this. Thank you for the coffees, Q City. Q City lady. Much love.
What did they target? They targeted water. They targeted electrical power.
Let me tell you what they're talking about here real quick. China infiltrating the U.S. power, water, transport, everything. China. Okay? That is what this is.
What did they target? They targeted water. They targeted electrical power, infrastructure, transportation are examples of the types of things that were targeted. And in many cases, they're vulnerable.
Multiple intrusions at utilities were discovered in 2023, and China had been on some of their computer networks at least 5 years.
What did they target?
It's showing you right there that China is embedded everywhere. I just want to make it clear, because when this attack goes down, when everything happens, there was an obvious enemy sitting there the whole time. And our government let them sit there the whole time. That's how it's a setup. You know, just like letting people go in and lace buildings with explosives. It's all a setup. It's all a setup. Yeah, that's insane. I don't know what's going to happen on these fronts, but I would like to think that at some point, you know, this whole Ukraine thing has to come to an end here. And it just, just the stuff that's going down, some of these things, man, just crazy. 11/11. Look down, it's 11/11. Oops, I typed it wrong. the exclamation point is one of the, oh, well, I'm not redoing it. It'll flow. You know what you know what it means. Love and love and much love, everybody. Yeah, much love, salutes. God bless to all you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out again for another one here. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News live on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Check the chat here on the way out. Give some shout outs. Make sure you're following me on X. Thank you, Daily, Kev Bar, everybody out there. Deanne, all the mods, everybody. Thank you, Spiro. Thank you all. Again, Dabu7@yahoo.com. If you got anything you want to get to me. Steve Hart. Thank you for the super chat. Steely, Steve, everybody out there supports the show. Thank you. Salutes, Crown Jewels. My brother. Everyone else across the pond. I know it's late over there. Jay from the Ville. Academy. Lauren. Pixie. Just stay safe, y'all, man. You never know when it's the last one. A lot of people here. I was scrolling down through messages on X, and a lot of people dead and gone, man. You never know when it's going to be last. Live it to the fullest. Much love, all y'all. See you, Joshua. Much love, Kev Bar. Thank you so much, brother. Much love. God bless. Steely. Thank you for the super chats. Oh, you got that right, Eon. You got that right. And thank you, Eon. Legendary, man. God bless. Thank you, Deanne. Thank you for everything you do. Prayers for you as well, and thank you for the prayers. Thank you, all of you that send prayers. It's a real deal. The power of prayer. Real deal. Thank you so much. Make sure to check in on my YouTube channel daily. Dropping stuff daily, man. And I'm censored big time. But thank you again to everyone out there that shares it. Much love. God bless. See you on the flip side. Wake up, America. Hopkinson, Salty, Dixie.